Hey everybody, here's part two of our video series on elections, really the path of presidency, or really, honestly, any kind of election, to be honest with you, but we'll focus on the president for right now, okay? So we're on page 15 of our note guide. We're right there, and if you go check that out with me, it'd be great. Let's bring this up and see what we got. So first off, so election process, we see this big, huge, long deal we got going on here. All these different things happen. We're going to try and break this down for you in 5 minutes or less. Hopefully, we understand it, okay? So first off, trouble becoming a candidate ready, making sure you qualify, declaring your stuff, getting your signature on your ballot, maybe paying a fee. Okay, done. Now, hard part is there might be multiple candidates for each party. That's what we have here in our own election here. So you try and gain your party's nomination. So a lot of times they start very early. This has been going on since early this year, and in February, where every state had their own little election to try and figure out, or a caucus, I should say, or election to figure out who they want for their parties. So early on, the Democrats were voting for who they wanted to be in their group. All they had was Joe Biden. They picked Joe Biden. The Republicans had a couple different ones pick. They picked Donald Trump. And so they basically eventually held all these different little elections, kept collecting delegates to figure out which one was the best person for their party. It started back in the 1900s with end corruption, that kind of deal. So this is an example from 2020. Here are all the different Republican ones that we've started with this past year, okay, plus Donald Trump. They all got kind of X'd out, right, and that was it. In our own governor election a couple years ago, we had three Republicans running for governor. They would pare down to get to one. There's four people running for the Democrats for Senate. They got pared down to one a few years ago. So that's kind of how the whole process works. In Iowa, they don't do an election, they do something called a caucus. So instead of voting like we do here on a Republican or Democrat ballot, they go to a big gym and basically crowd around the candidate they want, and then you can like decide by counting how many delegates you get. It's a weird situation, but the goal is that the most delegates wins the nomination. Okay, and that happens at the party convention. And so the party convention is where they officially announce who the person is. So this past year, Republicans were in Milwaukee, the Democrats were in Chicago. So you count up your delegates by state and figure out who you want to be. This last year was a little weird, okay, because in 2024 here, right, looking at my AP News here, Donald Trump got the most delegates, okay, for the Republicans. He beat out Nikki Haley, etc., dropped out, and the 1215 was the number. For the Democrats, Joe Biden got the most delegates, but he dropped out, and so then people then end up recommitting their delegates to Kamala Harris. This has never really happened before. This is a very new situation that's never actually gone down. So people are wondering, like, are they actually doing things the right way? Don't know, okay? But at the convention, there's where they formally announce who the person running for president is going to be. There's also state conventions, too, where they pick all the people running for different parties as well. But that's the national kind of side of things. You have to go on the campaign trail then, right? You got to start doing your appearances and speeches and try to get your name out there and try and make it so people know what you believe. So you're seeing all these different appearances made by now former President Trump, Vice President Harris. In other elections, you'll see them going around talking to people, doing rallies, all those kind of things to try and get their name out there, what they believe in. Eventually, we have the debates. We talked about the one debate we had between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Different types of debates can happen. That was more of a forum type debate or an issue type debate. There's also town halls where people actually ask the questions in the audience of the different candidates and what they think. Famously, MTV before they just played reality shows, did a town hall in the 90s for Bill Clinton and George H.W. Bush, and they asked, what kind of underwear do you wear? Boxers or briefs? Anyway. But these debates really help to be able to watch and learn what people think about issues, their policy issues, all that. They also run their ads. We'll look at some ads in class, but there's different methodologies we use in ads to get people to vote for you. So some are bandwagon, like, hey, look, everyone's voting for me, you should vote for me too. That kind of deal. Sometimes they pick a certain issue, like the economy or immigration, or that kind of stuff, and say, hey, here's a problem, you should vote for me because I do this issue better. They may use different symbols to make one person look better and one person look worse. They may talk in what's called glittering generalities. I'm going to fix this. I'm going to fix this. I'm going to fix this. But they don't say how they're going to do it. And then, of course, we have attack ads. So they basically try to make the other person look bad in terms of their past policy, their character, and just make them look like a not good candidate overall. And obviously, we're getting all sick of these attack ads and different ads that are out there because they're everywhere right now, okay? There's billions of dollars being spent on these ads every single election, even more so now. By the end, we get to our general election in November. So it's always the first Tuesday in November. and so that's when people are going to decide to vote. Okay, main election decided who's elected. Most national races are decided by state, and other state races by county. This is a cool little image here of the 2012 presidential election called Purple America, where things are pretty purple. By 2016, you can tell areas are more blue or not blue. We're right here, pretty much right in the middle in 2016. Here's 2020. We went a little more blue. We'll see what happens in 2024 at the time of this video. Now, the one thing that the presidential election has is called Electoral College. This is one thing that other elections don't have. Most elections, after the general election, whoever gets the most votes wins, okay? Perfect, good, done. Except for President. President has Electoral College, which is, we'll get more depth in a hot second on this, but it's really just giving every single state a certain number of votes. So Wisconsin gets 10 because we add up representatives and senators. We have 8 representatives, 2 senators, 10 votes. Then whoever wins that state gets those votes. That's how it works out. The big number you need is 270. You need to get at least more than one of half of those, right? So half of 538, right, is 269. You need to get 270 votes as a way to ensure that you win. If nobody has a majority, it goes to the House of Representatives. They do stuff there. We'll get more in that next video. It comes up here later on, okay? The final end of things is Inauguration Day. It's always January 20th. So it's going to be a big, in D.C., a big deal. They have a big celebration. There's parades and oaths and inaugural balls and parties that people go to enjoy. Most other people take their job January 1st, or the first Monday. That's when Congress is sworn in, all those kind of things. The time between the first week of November and inauguration is called the lame duck period. So for President Biden right now, after that point, he's kind of a lame duck in that he doesn't have much to do but kind of wait out until his time is done and a new person takes over. A lot of times, president on the inauguration day tries to do a whole bunch of stuff, pass executive orders, all those things. All right, that's this video, guys. There'll be one more in this series on Electoral College. Make sure you check that out. Thank you all very much.